in the three dots, it should give you an option to make me the host so I can share my screen.
Oh, I can make you, I can let you share your screen. Let me.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Thank you.
Right now.
Awesome. There we go. Got it. So hopefully you guys can see my screen here. Super appreciative. Just so you know, just kind of what to expect. I'm going to speed through this to give you guys as much value as possible to help you on this idea of how do you generate leads through this farming technique? How do you do it effectively and well? So I'm going to talk really fast. Thankfully, it will be recorded. But if you have questions, chat in your questions. My goal is to give you as much value as possible. For those who've never heard of who's Luke Akery, who's Reminder Media, not to bore you with any bit of my bio, I've been at this for over a decade, helped over 100,000 real estate agents. My company, Reminder Media, our flagship product that we introduced is American Lifestyle Magazine. Maybe some of you have heard about it. Maybe some of you use it. And so that's really what brought us onto the scene. But for the past 17 years, we've been really helping agents with our mission, which is to empower them to close more deals and retain more business. And American Lifestyle and everything we do there is really focused on your core sphere. It's how you generate referrals, how do you generate repeat business. But if your goal is 100 transactions this year, and you're thinking, okay, I want to get 100 transactions, where are they going to come from? Well, statistically speaking, 50 to 60% should be your benchmark from your sphere. So let's just go on the high end and say you're going to get 60% of the 100 goal from your sphere. That still leaves 40 deals that you got to go out and come up with a lead generation strategy to go after. And so farming is a tried and true method to generate leads. And I want to teach you kind of what I've learned in farming and doing this for thousands and thousands of people to figure out how do you actually turn farming into results. I'd love to know, I have my screen shared there, a little poll. How many of you guys actually currently farm today? Because I don't want to bore you with stuff you already know. If you look, there's probably an emoji sign there on Zoom that you could use to raise your hand, or you could chat in and let me know how many of you guys are actually farming. And it looks like we have one person, Madeline, is farming. So I'll quickly give you an overview. What farming is. Here's the mindset you got to go into. The mindset you have to go in with farming is a long-term game. It's a brand building game. It's about building top of mind awareness in a neighborhood to a specific demographic that you're trying to be number one in their minds. Write this stat down. 76% of consumers will use the first business that pops into their mind. So if you have to go buy an airline ticket right now, and I say airlines, the first airline company that's popping into your mind has a 76% chance to earn your business. So what does that teach us as business owners? You got to be first. If you're not first, you're last. So how do you do that? You have to go into farming realizing it's a long-term game. And Joshua Smith, who's a big-time real estate agent, he has a great podcast called GSD Mode. You guys should check it out. He talks about going in with the mindset that you're going to go after a farm for 9 months and you don't care if you get any return. You're going to go after for 12 months and not care if you get any return. He said, because chances are you're definitely going to get return before the 9 months. But when you go in with that mindset, with that commitment, you've done it right, because it's going to take time to get that flywheel going. Most agents fail because they slowly spin their way out of the business. They die by 1,000 pokes. They go in and they try to market for 90 days. And then they're wondering why listings aren't coming up, raining from the sky. And they quit. And now they've essentially just wasted their 90 days of money that they spent, the 90 days of sweat equity, because they didn't go in with the right mindset with farming. 90 days in the grand scheme of marketing is a really, really short time. There's two types of farming. There's geographic farming and there's demographic farming. Geographic is obvious. It's what most agents do. They pick a community, a zip code, a subdivision. A lot of times agents will pick the one they live in, and they start farming that neighborhood with mailers, with events, with different techniques from a marketing standpoint to build their brand. Demographic is you're going after a more targeted audience. So maybe you want to be the real estate agent that targets renters. So you're starting to target renters to turn them into first-time home buyers. Or maybe you're a real estate agent that goes after luxury homes. So you're targeting all the $1 million homes within your community because you want to be the luxury agent. The best type of farming that I really see effective is to layer both of these. is to take a nice geographic location, but layer in demographic information, years they've lived in the home, average income, behavioral data, consumer data. We have all this type of stuff to see who's most likely to move, who's most likely to need your services, and target them versus everybody under the sun. If you don't have a farm, here's some suggestions I would give to you. So I know Madeline's farming, but some of you might not be farming. So how do you choose a farm to generate actual real results? One thing you need to look at is, does the farm have a lot of competition? How can you tell this? Go to your MLS, pull up your MLS, look at all the transactions that happened in that area that you're trying to choose over the last year, 2 years, 3 years, and look and see who was the agent that did most of the transactions. And do they have a 40% hold on all the transactions that are happening in that community? Do they have a 50% hold? It's so much harder to get traction, not impossible, but harder to get traction if someone's already dominating. The reason why is because they've already done tilling the soil, planting the seed, watering the seed, all this branding. And I know it's hard because there's a lot of real estate agents out there, millions of real estate agents. So it's really hard sometimes to find a farm that doesn't have competition. It's not that I couldn't beat the person in that farm. It's just, you have to understand from a business owner standpoint, it's going to cost you more equity. What do I mean by equity? I mean sweat equity or check equity. So if you already have a farm and you're dominating that farm, I'm going to have to spend more time and more money, more marketing in that farm to try to market you, to try to be in front of the clients in that community so they think of me and not you. So it's not that I couldn't, it's just going to cost me more. That's why I suggest try to find an area that doesn't have a real estate agent that's taking 40%, 50%, 60% of the transactions. Second is, your farm should be at least over 250 people. I see a lot of agents not getting the results they want because they're trying to farm to like 100 homes, 50 homes. And what happens to them is the transactions aren't coming in enough in order to keep up with the sweat equity cost and the check equity cost on the marketing to keep it going. Share the story of my brother. He farms a lot. He did 150 transactions last year. He started out farming to 250 people with not a lot of success. It wasn't until he went to about 1,000 homes that he started to get a consistent flow of leads coming in off of that to where he could keep up the spend and keep up the effort. Third thing you want to look at is the turnover rate. So the turnover rate is in the amount of homes in the zip code that you're going after or the community you're going after. On average, how many homes sell a year? So if you were going after 100 homes, let's just say as an example for easy math, and 10 homes sold last year, that would have a turnover rate last year of 10%. What Tom Ferry would coach you, so I had Tom Ferry on my podcast and I was asking him, what he would coach you is don't go into a farm with less than a 6% turnover rate. So the only caveat I give to that is if you're going after luxury high-end homes, you might find that the turnover rate's not even at 6%, but you're able to go in, let's say at 3-4%, because the commission you get from selling just one home makes it worth it to market for a longer period of time to get that deal, because maybe over the course of 2 years, you're actually still paying for it. So you want to look at the turnover rate, and you want to see if that has a turnover rate of at least 6%. For all my veteran agents, I love for you guys to chat in how long you've been in the business, because all my veteran agents, to get an idea, you should look at where your past sales have been. So a good tip for choosing a farm is, where do I already have traction? There is a great site called batchgeo.com. So if you upload your list of addresses that you've sold in the past to batchgeo.com, it will pinpoint on a map where those transactions are. And you'll be able to see basically like a heat map of going, oh, wow, I didn't realize I have so much already momentum in the King of Prussia, Pennsylvania market. I've sold 20 homes over the last 2 years in that community. Why not look and see if that's the type of farm you want to go after? Because you've already built a brand. Your signs have already been there. Your face has already been there. You've already probably done marketing in that community. So that's a tip. If you're a new agent, think about it this way. Where are you already active? And can you farm in that community? Where do you go to church? Where do you live? What schools are your kids in? Where are you already going to be in that community being involved? And think about going after that as your farm. The reason why I love farming and what it gives you that maybe even referrals can't give you, I think referrals are the gold, right? Because they're easier to work with. They're coming to you trustworthy. It's where the majority of deals come from. But the one thing about referrals that kind of stinks is you can't control the price that comes to you. So the referral comes to you, but I don't know if it's going to be a $150,000 home or $1 million home. With farming, because you're in charge of getting to choose who you go after, you can try to choose your ideal client. That's why farming can be so effective in the long term, because when you plant the seeds and you toil and you water and you prune, you do all this work to the farm, it pays off in bringing you the transactions you want. So example, I want to sell $400,000 homes. Well, I can choose to farm $400,000 homes. So I know all this work in marketing that I'm producing, I'm going out there to do, is going to produce that type of client for myself. That's why marketing is so good in the long term. What do you need to do to make your farming effective? So the $1 million question is, how do you get ROI? How do you get return on investment from your farming? 3 principles you must accomplish. One is you have to consistently connect with that community. I got to interview Bubba Mills. And if you don't know who Bubba Mills is, he's a coach for the Corcoran Group. So he coaches big time real estate agents. He shared with me a story of a research kind of project that was done about farming and about branding and mindshare. And what this group did is they went to a subdivision. They then knocked on the door of everybody in this community. And they asked them, hey, who's the #1 agent? Who's the #1 agent here? And everybody gave their answer in that community. So then what they did is they went back, they created a fake agent, a fictitious profile of an agent. They then market it to that subdivision with an 8x8 strategy. So an 8x8 strategy is this: 1 touch point a week for 8 straight weeks. So 1 mailer to that community a week for 8 straight weeks. Then they went back after the 8 weeks was up, knocked on the doors and asked everybody in that community, who's the #1 agent? And the majority of people said the fake agent's name. Someone who's never sold a home, never been in real estate, it's totally fake. They were choosing the fake agent. Why? What's the business principle here? The business principle is you don't have to be the best. You just have to be the most known. Starbucks doesn't have the best coffee, right? They're just on every street corner. Now, some of you guys might love Starbucks. You might be like, Luke, no, Starbucks does have the best coffee, but they're just on every street corner. They're the most known. So even though that was a fake agent, those people were thinking of that agent and said, oh yeah, that's the #1 agent in this area. So think about that in terms of the consistency that you're in front. Here's the psychological principle. The more in front of people you are, the more familiar they become with you. The more familiar somebody becomes with you, the more comfortable they become with you. Have you ever heard of know, like, and trust? All of us have heard. You got to get people to know, like, and trust you. You need to get people into that comfort level. Perfect example of this is, I don't know if you guys have ever seen me before or know me at all. If you're seeing me for the first time right now, because I'm coming here and I'm speaking to you guys about farming, your comfort level, your familiarity with me is low. Your trust in me is low, not because of anything we've done wrong. It's just, this is the first time you're meeting me. This is the first time you're seeing a guy like me. But the more you get to know me, the more you see my stuff, the more we interact, your trust is going to naturally build. You're going to become more comfortable because you go, oh yeah, I know Luke. I know what he does. I know what he's into. I know what he talks about. That's what you have to do for your farm. The more they can see you, the more they're going to trust you. The second thing is you have to do relevant messaging. You have to do impactful messaging. I'll give you an example. Here, I have a pin. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. It has my logo on it. So that's my Reminder Media logo right there on this pin. Maybe turn it over. It's my Reminder Media logo. So here's the principle. This is a piece of marketing. If I sent this pin to Madeline or Henry, if I sent this to you guys every month to keep my brand in front of you, Even though it's marketing, it's getting in front of you, eventually you'd be like, Luke, stop sending me pins. I don't need any more pins. And it does the exact opposite from an impact standpoint that I want to happen. I want you to think of me in a good light so you know, like, and trust me and use me. This is where businesses get it wrong. Most of us get into business. We get into real estate. We go, I'm in real estate. Use me. Here's my just listed. Here's my just sold. Here's my market updates. All good things, but it's all we do. It's all transactional based. And then we wonder why do people get my postcard and just toss it? Why do people get my email and just click delete? Why am I not getting the leads that I want? But if you audited your marketing right now, what you would think and see is you go, wow, my marketing is all about me. It's not about my client. It's not about what they would enjoy and what they would receive. This is why you have to pepper in your just listed, your market updates with valuable pieces of content. So what would that look like? And I know I don't have a lot of time here, so I'm just going to give it to you real quick. It's called the 3 E's. This is the 3 E's of content. You can do it on mailers. You can do it on email. You can do it on social. Here's what it stands for. You want to do content that is 1, entertaining, or 2, educational, or 3, endearing. So what would entertaining look like? That might look like the events that are happening in your community. It might look like a recipe card that you send them. Hey, here's for your enjoyment, your entertainment. What would educational look like? Educational might look like your market report. It might be an educational piece on what do you need to do to get the most return on investment for your home. And it talks about renovating your kitchen or renovating your bathroom. That's an educational piece. And then the endearing piece, most people don't do, but it's almost the most important. How do you endear yourself to that community? So I'll give you a perfect example for me, for my company. So my company, Reminder Media, we're right outside of Philadelphia. So there's a food bank in Philadelphia called Philabundance. So we're involved with that. We give to that. We serve at that with our employees and everything like that. So imagine me putting together a mailer that is a food drive or something to support Philabundance, the local charity in our community. And then what I coached my agents to do over Thanksgiving timeframe is, man, this is a perfect way to get to know your people. Send out and let everybody know you're doing a food drive. You're doing a raising awareness campaign for your local community food bank. Not only do you have a great touch point, but you also can get a second touch point, which is, hey, I would love to come by your house to pick up the food cans. It gives you a face-to-face interaction with that neighbor in the farm that you're going after. And then you get in psychology, which is called the halo effect. So the halo effect is when you associate yourself with someone good, you naturally get that association back onto you, that effect back onto you. So people are going to see you in a good light. Now, my caveat to that is don't just give to charity or support your local stuff for the halo effect. You got to do it because you're sincere, but that's the type of stuff that endears you. What's other examples? Well, what about the local school? How can you get involved there? How can you help? What about the Little League baseball teams? What can you do to get involved, to endear yourself to the community that gets you out there, that shows that you're not just about transactions, you're about the local market, you're about giving back. So the 3 E's of content. Then last, to have an effective strategy in farming that produces ROI, you have to follow up. So over the years of doing this, when I look at top producers, even take my brother who I mentioned to you, 150 transactions. He's a top producer. He's closed 23 deals this year. And what is it? It's January 21st. What is it that separates him from the other agent that's only doing an average of 11 transactions? The difference is he doesn't just sit back on the couch and run a Facebook ad or send out mailers and hope listings come in the door. What he does is he takes that and then makes it proactive. So he is out there, whether it's door knocking on that neighborhood once a quarter, whether it's a phone call, whether it's throwing a client kind of block party to get face to face with them. He's adding a human touch to his marketing that really gets him into that space where he can capture the lead, where he can convert. And there's so many different ways I could take you down that road of how you could door knock or how you could phone call, but we don't have time to do that today. But that is a key differentiator, is the follow-up. You should be hitting that community at least once a quarter somehow with a way to follow up. So here are a couple farming strategies that I've tested with clients that we've seen work that I'll give to you. There's tons of different strategies, but these ones have worked. That's why I'm sharing them with you. One is the 8x8 that I talked about. So this is the strategy of hitting your farm, your community, one touch point a week for 8 straight weeks. So that's really going to solidify you as the brand, right? As the person who's active in that community. It doesn't have to just be a mailer. Most of the times it is, but you could do one touch point as a door knocking touch point or something like that if you wanted to. That should then lead right into what the Millionaire Real Estate Agent would call the 12 Direct. So the 12 Direct program is one mailer a month for 12 straight months. So I've tried this with a bunch of clients and I had decent success with the 12 Direct, but it wasn't until that I took it to a level of going, wait, you have to add on the follow-up, that I really started seeing it. Okay, this is a more consistent strategy that you're out in front of them once a month, but you're also proactively following up. The conversion rate on this is usually 2%, basically. So for every 50 homes that you're going after, you should see over the course of 12 months, one transaction come out of marketing to 50 homes. So that's a good benchmark for you. So here, if you want to take it kind of to the next level, I don't have a ton of time to talk about this, but it's kind of adding in. And I saw a question in there from Yogi, can you do farming through social media? So this actually applies to this question, is Facebook ads. So not only could you hit them in the mail once a month, and you're on their coffee table, or they're seeing you, you're door knocking, you can actually take it to the next level and get on social too and run a Facebook ad. Facebook has become more restrictive, so they only allow you to target about a 15-mile radius. So you'll still be able to hit that community, but you'll probably end up hitting more than just your farm you're going after. Another way to do it is if you have a list and your list includes the address, but also the email, you can upload a custom list of email addresses to Facebook, and Facebook will allow, they'll go out there and search and see if any of those email addresses are on Facebook and then show your ad to them. So that's kind of taking it, because that's the holistic approach. They see you through the mailbox. They're seeing you face to face in the community. They're seeing you on their social, and that's what builds the mind share. Actually, in fact, I'll tell you the power of brand. When I say electric cars, who do you guys think of? Chat in. I just want to make sure I'm not losing anybody. Chat in who you think of when I say electric cars. Who's the first person or first company that pops into your mind? Go ahead and chat that in. So we see Tesla. So yes, I speak all over. I do these webinars and stuff all over. Pretty much 98% of the people, when I say electric cars, they think Tesla or Elon Musk. That's who they chat in. Why is that? Like, you guys are, where are you guys at? Like, you're in California, we're in Philly. We're spread across the country. It doesn't matter if I have people from Nebraska, Texas, Cali. Everybody says Elon Musk or Tesla. That's the power of brand. I said electric cars, which is a category. It's like real estate. It's like housing. He owns the category because he has branded himself as the person that is the creator and the owner, even though there's tons of companies doing electric cars right now. How do you become the Tesla in your industry, in your community? How do you do that, right? How do you become the Tesla of real estate? It's all about consistency. It's all about being everywhere, omnipresent to people. All right, so I'm going to jump forward. What would the ROI be if you did the 12 by 12? This is a map on that 2% conversion. I love doing this map because I want you to plug your numbers, right? I want you to think about this as a benchmark for you to make sure you're driving and holding yourself accountable to these type of results. So if you farm to 250 people for 12 months, be 95 cents a card, including postage, right? So that's going to get you a high quality card. If you're converting 2% of those, that's 5 new clients. Now, I just took the $200,000 average price point to make it easy. You would have to plug in your price point here, but 200,000 at a 3% commission is 30,000 in GCI. So 250 cards over 12 months is going to cost you $2,850. So $2,850 for 30,000 in GCI. Now, all of us go, yeah, of course I would do that. That math makes sense. I'm not showing you this to make you go, oh, I can spend $2,850 and get 30,000 in GCI. I'm showing you this so you can go, let me map out for myself how big my farm is, how many touch points I'm doing, this 2% conversion, and hold that as a benchmark for you, because this benchmark is possible. You should be getting this from your farm. And if you're not, it should point you to, do I have enough touch points going out? Am I active enough in my follow-up? Am I converting enough when I'm actually calling these people or going to these appointments? Here, I'm going to skip ahead. Here's why agents are failing with their farming. As I look at it and I go, agents who try to farm and fail, what are the 4 things that I see? One is you've chosen the wrong audience. You know, I joke sometimes with people, I say, you know, sometimes the audience that you've picked is so bad that there's no turnover rate. You're trying to hit people that just moved into their homes. You're better off taking the 95 cents, putting it in an envelope and sending it to them than you are sending them the mailer. So you're picking the wrong audience. You want to pick an audience that you know is most likely to move, that actually has a chance to get you the return that you want. Second is you're giving up too soon. So this is the 90-day piece that I see people fall into. They try it for 90 days and they have all their focus on that 2850 going, oh, it's too much money, and not realizing farming is a long-term game. You got to commit to this to 9 months to 12 months to really start getting and generating that result. Third is the content is all just about you. It's not about the value that your clients would want to receive. You have to pepper in things about you to build that trust, but it can't just be all about you. And then fourth, here's the big one, is you just don't have enough time. And I get this. This is a real thing for people. You're showing buyers around. You're trying to get your listings taken care of. You're dealing with issues. You're trying to take care of your kids or whatever going on in your life. You might be hearing a lot of the stuff I talk about today going, I know this. Luke, you're not telling me something I don't know. And you have that frustration because you're going, I know I can do this. I know what to do. I just can't execute on it. This is a huge pain point that I had seen with my clients. It's what led me to creating our 12 direct program here at Reminder Media. My thought process was this. I had no desire to get into postcards. I didn't want to just print postcards. If you want, just printing, go to Vistaprint, right? That wasn't my desire at all. What I set out to do is go, okay, I have clients that are not effectively farming. They don't have the time to come up with the content. They don't have the time to create things. And so set out to create a 12 direct program that basically, I always put the easy button from Staples up there. That's like the easy button. You have to spend the time doing the proactive stuff, which is the face-to-face, the shaking hands, the meeting people, the kissing babies, as they would say, and not worry about the content piece. How do you come up with content that's entertaining, content that's educational, content that endears you to the community? Not only that, how do you know who to farm? Like, how do you pick a list that actually has people that might return because the turnover rates are there, because they're likely to move? We actually just added a new component to our farm and our list building tool where we actually can scan your list. And based upon big data, predictive analytics, we look at 3 categories. We look at consumer activity, so consumer data. We look at behavioral data, and we also look at property data. And then there's an algorithm that looks at this and basically searches and goes, it's never perfect, but goes, out of all the people you're farming to or want to farm to, who has the data points that shows that, they're most likely to be listing soon because maybe they had a kid, maybe they got divorced, maybe something happened in their life, maybe they're searching online for homes right now. Getting all that data and really looking at it through an algorithm to go, who's most likely that I have the best chance of return? So we have that ability with our software. And then last but not least, with us, you get a postcard marketing expert. So if you liked any of what I was sharing with you today, there's so much more on the bone there that I couldn't get into for the sake of time. But we basically would want you to schedule a call with our postcard marketing expert. So they do this all day. I train them every Wednesday for about an hour on just different marketing techniques, what we're seeing is working, what's not working, the content, the designs, the targeting. And they actually work with you to set up your cards and make sure that you also know how to do the follow-up. So our pricing, it's tier-based. So if anybody is like, hey, what would it look like to do business with you guys, to do and test your farming? It's tier-based. If you did 500 cards, it'd be 75 cents a card. That includes your shipping. And then if you know us from our magazine, you know that we focus super on quality. So super high quality. We don't want to do chintzy things. So the cards are super high quality, are glossed in a good paper. So when it comes in the mailbox, it actually pops. If you want to take advantage of that, here's what I'm doing is basically anybody who wants to learn more and go, hey, Luke, I'd love to learn more about your farming, about this 12 direct program, about what you guys are doing and targeting and building the farm, go to remindermedia.com/try. And what's going to be there on the screen for you, in fact, I might be able to go over there and show you, is you'll see, can you guys see my screen? You'll see it's just basically a calendar where you can put in your information and select a good time for us to reach out to you. So this call will be a call with our postcard marketing expert, because all of you have different things, right, going on, different goals, different markets that you're trying to go after. And so we want to learn about that and give you the best advice based upon that information. So you'll get on the call with our marketing postcard expert. They will get with you. They'll walk you through the whole program. They can show you a bunch of stuff like that. If you do that, just as a thank you, I'm giving 1,000 free addresses to you. So 1,000 free mailing addresses through our software. You don't have to use all 1,000. If you want to just choose a farm of 250 or 500, we'll walk through and we'll actually pick out by geographic data, demographic data, and then run it through our algorithm to see who's most likely to even move on this list. So when you get this mailing out, you know who to follow up with. And we have scripts in our interface to be able to help you to follow up. So that's remindermedia.com/try is what you would go to, is remindermedia.com/try. If you guys want to chat in your questions, I see Yogi says, I need high quality content. I love that. So if you want to chat in any questions, I'd love to answer those questions for you. Even if it's not about buying the postcards, I want to make sure you get value out of this and really coach you on how to do your farming effectively if you're doing it now and not getting good results. So let's see. So it looks like in it, we have, I need high quality. And then can we do this for recruiting? I guess, Maho, that's your question. Can we do that for recruiting? So yes, you can. You can do it for recruiting. So if you want to do postcard designed to go after other agents, we can definitely help you out with that and kind of walk you through what some of our other managers do. Oh, Madeline. So, and it's the same offering for existing Reminder Media customers. Yes, that is correct. So what we decided to do with our postcards is we just do our lowest cost that we can do for everybody coming in. When you're with Reminder Media, you get access to our whole resource library. So I'm not sure if you've used it yet or not, Madeline, but I would really encourage you, get in your interface. Just give you a flavor of what's in there. We have like a training on Facebook ads. So I mentioned we don't sell Facebook ads, but I literally will walk you through with Josh, my chief marketing officer, the 3 ads that you should be running right now for a cup of coffee a day in your real estate business that we have tested and seen results for agents. We get into the Facebook ad manager with you. We walk you through step by step in this webinar and exactly how to do it. And that's in your resource library. So you can have that as well. All right, let's see. So Richard goes, is the algorithm proprietary or do you use a third-party service? Great question. So we have a partner that we work with that does this for us. So we can walk you through that when you're on the call. We can show you kind of that. Actually, Madeline, if you use the magazine, one of the things that we do, and Richard, I don't know if you use the magazine or not, but whoever you're sending to on the magazine, we're also serving up for you now, completely free included, who is actually likely to move on your list that you're sending the magazine to. We've already gotten some incredible testimonials. We just released it about 2 months ago, I think. And so we've already gotten some incredible testimonials from it. Okay, so Yogi goes, how do these postcards work in very high competitive market? I get at least 10 to 15 postcards from realtors as well in a month. Wow. So yeah, you are in a great market because there's a lot of real estate agents going after. So where we shine is selecting who to go after and then the quality. Most people are marketing through just listed, just solds. That's how most people market, or market updates. Nothing wrong with that. But you can't just do that to stand out. That's lottery marketing. The person's either interested or they're not, and they toss it within 5 seconds. Our whole concept is, let's not only give trust data, which is how you perform and what you have going on, but let's also give valuable content that's educational, entertaining, that they can look forward to receiving. So we really focus, and that's what we've been known for the past 17 years, is creating content that people engage with, that they love. So that's one way to do it as well. If you want to go even higher quality than the postcard, you can always use the magazine as well. So if you're trying to hit some homes, the magazine is $3.99, and that includes the shipping of the magazine to the addresses. So if you wanted to go up from just postcards to the actual magazine, you could do that as well. And the postcard marketing expert they can talk to you about it and get to know kind of what's happening specifically in your community, Yogi, to give you the best advice. So definitely claim a time to talk to them at remindermedia.com/try. So hopefully I didn't talk too fast for everybody. I knew I had half an hour, so I was trying to jam pack all the info I could give you in there. I can show you samples. Oh, that's perfect. Awesome. Thank you, Moho.
Yeah. So
is that how you pronounce?
It's Maho. Yeah, you say it right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that.
It's okay. A common mistake. Yeah. So I have samples of the magazines here at the office. Some of our agents already work with them, which is why we know them. Which is why we're hosting these meetings. We had one in December when we were talking about the magazines. I can send you guys the recording if you want to watch that one. And also, I don't have samples of the postcards, but I will always welcome to receive a sample box so I can show them.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, 100%. I can send the samples, and then anybody who claims the appointment will get you samples as well. I think you'll be super impressed. And here's just, some just testimonials of people who have used it. And I think what you see right away is not only do they love, obviously the postcards, but most importantly, they love the team that they're working with. And you really think about, where do agents mostly fail? It's not usually in the knowledge, it's usually in the execution, where it's like they know what to do, but they just can't execute it because of the time. That's why our whole focus is to try to give you the client success coaches, trying to give you the marketing experts. You also see, and go forward like this one right here. First postcard went out to my past clients in Sphere. These are just from Facebook. Really happy with how they turned out. A client texted me a picture. So high enough quality to even get a picture from a client there. Let me pull this chat up because I see another chat coming in. Awesome. I'm interested in a postcard. Awesome. Tish, thank you so much. If you want to, I'll chat it in for everybody. It's www.remindermedia.com/try. If you go to that link will just have the calendar. I'll pull it back up, where you can choose, okay, what time do you want? What's the best time to call you, and what day during the week would you want us to reach out to you, where you can have some time to actually, walk through the postcard campaigns, whether you want to do an 8x8 or do a 12x12. Awesome. Thank you, Yogi. Yogi wants to give the postcards a try as well. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Madeline, the magazine has great response with my Sphere. I also use the magazines in lieu of business cards, so it's a bit harder for clients to toss the magazine. I love hearing that. Yeah, that's what we have. We also have 2 magazines now. So we have American Lifestyle and Start Healthy. So if you think your clients would prefer a health-based magazine, this is fitness tips, healthy recipes, you could send them this. If you think they would prefer, celebrating life in America, content like travel, art, food, home tips, you could do American Lifestyle as well. All right. Any other questions from anybody about the postcards, the magazine, the farming techniques? Looks like we might have answered all the questions. If you guys are on social, I would love to connect with you. My social handle is @LukeAkery. So if you're on Instagram, I'm on Instagram all the time. I'll follow you back. I would love to connect with you. It's @LukeAkery. I try to put out a ton of content and help as much as I can. It's been a crazy journey growing Reminder Media. So we have about 280 employees now. So it's been unbelievable. We've worked with over 100,000 real estate agents, and I'm trying to share just what I've learned in marketing, what I'm learning every day from failure standpoint and success standpoint, and obviously business owner just like you. So would love to connect, get to know you guys a little bit more. So awesome. I'll connect with you. Realty1 Group _future. I love that. So you'll find me on LinkedIn, Facebook @LukeAkery, or Instagram. Would love to connect up with all of you. And you can chat me. I'll try to answer your questions. And then of course, my clients, definitely want to get to know you, want to help you out as best as I can. Make sure you're utilizing all our stuff and getting return. Awesome. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. If you have no more questions, go to remindermedia.com/try. Let's talk to you. Let's get the postcard campaign going. Love to know your goals, right? I want to know your goals for what you're trying to accomplish for the year. Let's talk. Let's make that happen. I see a hand raised from the iPhone. Did you have a question? Sorry if iPhone 925-86445. Oh, nope. Nope. They dropped it down. Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you guys. Yogi, Madeline, all of you, Tish, Richard, Roxana, Moni, Gabrielle, Josephina, Khalid, if I missed anybody. Thank you guys. Really, really appreciate it. Moha, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah. So if any of my agents have questions and are struggling trying to reach out to Reminder Media, you can go directly to me and I'll help you out. Okay. I'll be posting the recording and well, let's start sending marketing out. You guys know how like deep I'm into marketing. So just let me know if you have any additional questions and we'll contact them to extra support.
Thank you guys.
Alrighty. Well, have a good day, everyone.
See ya.